How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins submitted this week, and if you're new, just so you know how this works, we're not going to have these like 100 skins pop into the shop, obviously. So these are just skins that have a chance. If they don't get in, they may never get in, or they may come in later, but chances of that are usually pretty low. So if they don't make it this week, then they probably aren't going to. But hey, you never know. Always a chance for it later, especially if it's part of a set. So also, sorry about the video being late, guys. I had to re-record the whole thing today because the video I recorded earlier in the week, something was wrong with it, and it's corrupt and all glitchy and weird. So, hey, here we are with the Paisley set continuation. And we've got a kind of like cow leather poncho thing going on, and then of course you got the little Paisley hat. Definitely a nice addition to this set. We've got some more poncho action with a bandana to go along with it, with the fierce poncho and bandana. So you got kind of like a teeth thing going on. Then you've got the skull with wings, and then if we come around the back here, you've got some wings and kind of like a crossbones going on. Definitely a nice kind of punk vibe. Next, we've got a version 2 of the butterflies set, and this time the butterflies are different colors. So you got some pink and yellow ones besides the blue ones, some beautiful flowers and so forth, and then you've got the one blue butterfly right over the mouth there. Definitely a cool little nature-esque set. Next, we've got a pretty simple design for poncho, but I know a lot of people would like this. It's the high visibility poncho, and yeah, it's just a big old like construction vest kind of thing, and people are just kind of into the construction vibe thing. Whenever these kind of things pop into the shop, they do really well, so I could see this one definitely pleasing a lot of people. Next, we've got a poncho that looks like it is made out of human flesh. It's the skeleton poncho, and yeah, it's kind of like sewn together with bones up top along the edges there, and then you've got like someone's ribcage chilling out in front. Definitely a very creepy idea for a poncho that fits Rust. Then we can move on to our hoodies and pants, and the first one up here we've got is a aviator set. Probably with the new helicopter coming in, some of these things would definitely make sense. So you've got some Cobalt Industries popped around here and there, some wings on the back, and just altogether a nice little leather hoodie and pants set. Next, we've got a parachute themed set for the Skywalker hoodie and pants, and the pants have all the different like strapping going on and so forth, and the rest is kind of just like a nice aerial jacket. Definitely set up and ready to go for some parachuting. Next, we've got another skydiving set for you with the skydive suit, and as you can see, it's got a nice bright red kind of coloration thing going on. It also has some dirt and dust to it. Looks like it's been maybe found and so forth, or just really used. I don't know. One way or another, grime is always welcome in the dirty world of Rust. This week is definitely loaded with lots of clothing. So next up, we've got more hoodies for you, and this one is, of course, the banana. So the hoodie nana and the pants nana, I think, or yeah, bananans pants, bananas. Yep, the bananans. Indeed. Next, we've got the high qual hoodie and pants, and yeah, it's got the little plating here and there. We've seen a few different sets, including the hard suit set that made it in that were actually like armor plated hoodies. Usually there's a rule not to do that kind of thing, but hey, those had a chance, and this one isn't super armored. You can still tell it's clothing, so I think we might be alright on this one, and I definitely see a lot of people liking it if it made it in the shop. Last but not least, for our hoodies and pants, we've got one more for you, and this one's really rusty, fits right into the world. It is the Homeless Warrior set, and you've got like this bandolier and this like this hoodie itself looks like maybe it's made out of old leather stuff. Then you've got all these like makeshift padding and everything. It's just a very Rust looking set that I think a lot of people would definitely appreciate. Next up for armor, we've got some road sign for you with the Madness set. And yeah, we saw a few pieces of this previously, and now we've got the coffee can. It just has a very nice kind of simple feel. I can see a lot of people liking it for its very kind of like stealth and military kind of feel that goes along with it. It's definitely one of those things that fighters in Rust would probably like for sure. Next, we have just a kilt, and usually you need to submit a whole set, but the whole reason behind this one is to make a kilt that looks exactly like the default metal face mask and chest piece. And I think they did a really good job with this. This still definitely makes me really want high-qual leggings. I don't know why they just haven't become a thing. I remember years and years ago I asked Helk if they were ever going to, and he said, yeah, probably eventually. But who knows, whatever happened there. I definitely wish there'd be some kind of maybe like an armor rework in the game. Next, we've got a continuation with the ghillie, and it is, of course, the ghillie high qual. And you can see the bottom, it kind of sticks off a little bit, so it does actually look like the leaves themselves are there. There's an actual ghillie suit over the metal, which I think is nice. It's always little details that help with that, and it definitely has a much darker color than all of the previous kind of camo sets that we have, which I think is why a lot of people want the rest of the set so that they can have it matching in. Next, we've got another set for you, and this has got two different versions. It's the Aqua set, and there's a pirate version and a regular. So the regular is just kind of this aqua kind of plate carrier going on with the blues and the navy colors. And then you can see the face mask would be without the skull for that version, and then the skull and then kind of like a rib cage pops on there for the pirate version. So there you have that. Next, we've got a very tough looking set, the bulletproof face mask and chest piece. And as you can see, this one has taken plenty of bullets. It has a little shaping to it to make it look different from the default, but mostly it's just kind of that effect of, hey, this guy has taken a lot of shots. Last but not least, we've got the high qual concentric set for you with the chest piece. You've got the same kind of shattering effect going on as you do with the rest of the set. And then you've got the metal face mask to go along with it. But that does it for our armor, everyone, so let's go ahead and check out our deployables. Alright, so first up we've got a sleeping bag for you. It's a continuation in the training set, so it's been a while since we've seen some pieces of it, but Hulk did recently accept some old pieces into the set, so hey, here is something new. Moving along, we've got some small boxes, and well, actually one small box for you, and this one's made up to look like it's leather. This is the Heroes Leather storage box. Then with our large boxes, the first one here is meant to look all concrete, and this is, well, of course, the concrete box. I mean, hey, there you go. Complete with glow sticks. Then we've got a very nice little armored wooden box here for you, the fine riveted large box. Definitely has a very tough look going on there for it. Moving on, we've got the tools box in the electric storage set. And then we've got another crazy looking box over here with the molten large wooden box. Definitely a very cool design. Moving on, we've got quite a bit of furnaces for you. The first one here is the abandoned cottage furnace. Definitely a very beautiful furnace. Like the little light cracks coming through. Or the cracks of light. There we go. Weird. One way or another, we've got the Dragon's Lair furnace up next here. And then we've got some more forest fun for you with the Fancy Shroom version 2. Everything definitely looks like it pops a lot better. You see a little oak leaf on the top. Then we've got a very hot furnace for you with the Infernal Furnace. Definitely a very nice addition to the set. Moving on, we've got another furnace for you, and this one is the Saturated Paints furnace. And yeah, it just looks like a bunch of paint like splattered all over something, but there's this kind of like material that's like this, and if you've ever seen it, you know exactly what it is, and this looks exactly like it. Next over here, there is another little kind of stone furnace for us, and it's simply called the Stone Furnace. Has some little cave art along it, pretty much just on the front. However, moving on, we've got some rugs for you. The first one here is the Snow Grass rug, brought to us by the creator of the Grass rug, of course. And then we've got a nice little ivy trellis here with the Ivy rug. Moving on to our doors, we've got a nice little wooden door with some glow here. This is the Forest Eye wooden door. I'll go ahead and take a look at the other side. And then over here we got another wooden door for you. This one is the Queen of Spades. As you see, there's the spade, and well, there's the queen. Definitely very cool artwork. Then we've got one last wooden door for you. This is the Wildfire wooden door. It has more of a kind of like neon design going on. We'll show the glow here shortly. And, of course, we're going to have some concrete doors coming up with the whole Broodless skin coming up. So we've got the reinforced concrete sheet metal door. Then over here we've got some neon and wires for you with the panel trim sheet metal door. Moving on, we've got the Pug sheet metal door. Then with the double sheet metal doors here, we've got the exterior door to match the single. And then we've got kind of a more rustic door with some weird kind of seal there in the middle, the sealed agony door. Definitely might not want to unseal that. Moving along, we've got some very cool art here with the airborne garage door. Definitely would make a great garage door for a hangar, but unfortunately this thing doesn't fit through garage doors. But hey, you know, it's definitely still very cool art. Moving along, we've got another garage door that's pretty similar to the dungeon set that we've seen, but this one is the Catacombs garage door. Definitely a little more heavily focused on the piled bones and less metal. Then lastly over here, we've got the concrete decoration garage door. So let's go ahead and kill the lights and take a look at the globe. All right. We got the other side of the wooden doors. And we can head on down to our furnaces. This one doesn't have any special glow really. Same going on here. And then with this one, we've got all of the kind of molten metal leaking out everywhere. Nothing too special on the glow there. Over here we do have a bit of glow on the back. And right here, as you can see, kind of peeks through the cracks in the front and a little bit in the back as well, which is quite nice. Then we've got our tools box. And lastly, we've got a little bit of glow here on the glow sticks and the front of the cement box. All right, next up we have our tools, and the first thing up here is this little hammer. I mean, it makes sense, right? So it is literally just the hammer. You get it? Next, we've got a lot of stone tool sets for you this week. And the first one up is the goose hatchet and pickaxe. And yeah, there you go. I mean, it's just kind of simple and goofy, but it just fits. You know what I mean? Then moving on, we've got the next stone tool set for you, and this one is the fast growing bamboo set. I like the nice little moss growing there on the rock. There's that matching pick. Then we've got one more stone tool set for you, and this one has a nice shiny obsidian kind of rock with the devil's claw tools. And of course, there's a matching pick. Then we've got a single metal tool set for you this week, but it's definitely a very cool looking one. It is the Valhalla set. It also has two different versions, a glow and a non-glow. So we'll actually go ahead and show you that here. And there. Then we've got ourselves a combat knife, and it's a really simple idea, just a little bit of greenish, yellow neon kind of going on, that toxic glow. Nothing too special, but I could definitely see people wanting some more knife skins, for sure. Then we got ourselves a sword, and this one here looks like it is made out of succulents, and it's definitely very fun there. It is the aloe vera sword. Then we've got a bow for you, and this one looks like it's a little taxi cab driving down a road. It's a very, well, maybe a stretch cab, but definitely a fun little idea. I like the little reflective surfaces as well, and it's definitely always cool to see unique and silly ideas for weapons. Next, we've got another bow for you, and this one is a continuation of the hard suit set with a hard suit bow, and as you can see, this whole thing is just one armor-plated bow, ready to go. Very tough look to it. Then we got some crossies. The first one here is part of the crossbow storm. Yeah, there you go. The storm set has that kind of nice purple with lightning going through it. Nothing too extravagant, but a nice little look to it. And there's that reload. As so you can see, it's also stockless. Then our next crossbow looks like it is kind of made out of denim, and well, that's the whole idea, because it is the denim crossbow. Aiming down the sights here, you can see they use kind of like an orange string. Same for the bow. And this one does have a stock. And there we have it. Next, we've got a pumpy for you, and is the Comics Pump Shotgun version 2. I know a lot of you guys really love the comic set, so you'd be very excited to see this one pop in. Aiming down the sights, there's that little happy face that always exists. And there's that reload. Next, we've got another pumpy for you, and this one's made out of concrete and rebar to go right along with the Brutalist skin. So there you have the Brutalist shotgun. Go ahead and reload it for you. And there it is. Next up, we've got an Ioka for you, and this one looks like a Croco, and there you have it. It is simply the Croco Ioka. Nice little scales and everything, and a little crocodile head for the actual gun barrel. Always a fun little thing. Next up, we've got some pythons for you. The first one here has a nice kind of heated look to it. It is the Python Case Hardened version 2. Aiming down the sights here, you've got kind of a gold tip with changes depending on the sight. It's light hitting it, kind of gold to silver. And there we go for a reload. Next up, we've got another Python, and this one has much more of an esports kind of look. It is the Calibrated Python, part of the Calibrated set, obviously. Aiming down the sights, it looks like it has a glowing sight, but is just a very, very bright yellow, as glow sights are not allowed anymore. For a long time. And next we've got some saps. The first one here is going to be the Riot starter. Looks like it has a little blood smear up there in the front, maybe. Aiming down the sights, you got a black versus the kind of magenta pink. Next we've got another sap for you. This one is the Muter version 2. And yeah, as you can see here, it just kind of has a very put together look to it. And then it looks like it has like a control on it. And when you pull the trigger, it is the mute button. So you gotta love the humor behind that, right? Next, we've got a very pink sap for you here. This is the Verdict number 2. And the whole thing looks like it has kind of like a pink leather and cloth thing going on. Definitely a funny little look. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a pink sight against the magenta and black. Next, we've got some SMGs, starting out with this nice clean-cut Thompson. This is the Laser Thompson. As you can see there on the side, it has a little bit of a faded and worn look to it, but still very clean. Aiming down the sights here, it unfortunately just has kind of a black sight on a black sight and nothing else going on back there. I do wish maybe they had used some of that bright red for the sight there. Alright, next up we've got another Tommy here, and this one is a jade kind of alligator going on for you. You can see the whole thing looks like it's made out of this nice kind of carved and painted jade, and you've got the little alligator face and scales going on there. Aiming down the sights, you've got a nice bright white, almost glowing sight against the green. Next, we've got some customs for you, and the first one is kind of crazy. It's all scaled up, and it has like horns and teeth and all sorts of things going on. It is the Dragon Fury custom. This one also comes in a purple version, which you can check out in the workshop link down in the description. Aiming down the sides here, you've got that kind of bone off-white against red. And there's our reload. Next, we've got a MP5 for you, and this one is the Firestorm MP5. Definitely has that kind of old hot rod, kind of self-painted look, which I think fits into the Rust world quite well. Aiming down the sides here, you've got a nice little orange tip and a little bit of the paint kind of fading off of the ring there. You can see just a bit of the yellow and orange. And there's that reload. Next, we've got another MP5 for you, and this one's just kind of a simple coloration, but a nice carved metal. This is the Treasures of the Abyss. Aiming down the sights here, do wish they did a little bit of something, or at least a little variation in the color or space. It is quite blank. Next, we've got a very bright MP5 right here. Is the Neon MP5. I think it's aptly named. Very neon blue for sure. Aiming down the sides, you've got blue and blue and blue. I do wish maybe the middle sight was a little darker, maybe with that darker kind of gray blue, just to kind of make it not blend as much. Then we've got a star for you, and this one is all kind of scaled up, and it's got a rib cage of bones. It is the Snake Slayer. Definitely a very neat kind of shiny color, and you can see there's like a cobra head staring back at you, and a bit of a silvery tip, so there's a bit of differentiation there for the tip. Next up, we've got a very starry AK for you. This is the Stellar Midnight AK. Comes in both a stock and a stockless version, so you can check out the stockless down in the workshop link. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a little red tip against some of that little nebula going on, and some nice little carvings as well. Definitely good use of all that space. Then we've got another kind of starry night going on for you with the Starry Dream AK. There's all these little clouds and the stars and the moon. Definitely a nice, peaceful, beautiful design. Aiming down the sights, you've got a darker black against the kind of carbon black, but a little bit hard to tell the difference on it depending on light hits it there. Next, we've got another kind of nebula looking one. Looks like everyone was living in the galaxy this week with the Galaxy AK. The stockless AK has some nice red and purple tips for you. And there we go with that reload. Next, we've got an LR, and it's version 2 of the Anglerfish LR, and they've updated the art and everything, updated the actual LR, add a little more color here and there. You've got these little anglerfish in the back, and a nice green neon sight there. There's that reload. Take a look at the art one more time. Next, we've got another LR for you, and it is part of the Chameleon set. It's version 2 of the LR, to be exact. And as you can expect with the Chameleon set, depending how the light hits it, it has all those beautiful changes of colors. And aiming down the sides here. And a reload. Last but not least, we do have an M39, and this has got some crazy art on it. It is the Snowstorm M39. Now, there is one thing, it says Snowstorm up there, and same with the Laser Thompson. A lot of times, Helk doesn't know is like words being written on on guns for the game. There we go. But you never know, it's kind of way up there, and the rest of this art is just absolutely really cool. So, hey, there's that. Aiming down the sights, you've got a really kind of roughed up sight of very dirty white versus the black tips there. So that does it, everyone. Sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping to make it in this weekend the most. And if there isn't anything on here, hey, is there something from the past you're looking for? I can always try to add that to Helk's continuation of sets list or something like that, if it is such a thing. Any kind of feedback you have, I always love hearing it, and I'll get it to whoever I can. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay rusty.